Thanks to everyone who have subscribed. If you have not, please do. And thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate you. What we submitted to the U.S. Department that rattled presidency. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time we're reaching you today. Recently, you've been hearing on the news, Garuba Shehu has come up to say that the U.S. has issued a letter to Nigerian government on the recent happenings, on what is happening in Nigeria, that they need to look into it. Apparently, IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu has been speaking on behalf of Nigerians, especially with the genocides that have been going on. It's terrible what has been happening in the country. Killing of innocent people, lives and property destroyed, and nobody's saying anything. Buhari behaves like nothing is happening. He's totally comfortable and behaving as if nothing is happening. Well, this is continuing. IPOB has gone ahead and has told the U.S. government. The U.S. government has also issued a statement to Nigeria, and the Nigeria presidency is quite rattled. And this was the document that was issued to the U.S. department that is troubling. Presidency. Don't forget that what happened in Castina. Did you know how they covered it up? Yes, let me tell you. I'll give you the gist. So they said the propagandas came like they were preaching. Apparently said they came like they were Islamic preachers. That's how they killed the people. So they came with the pretense that they were preaching. That was what they said. They said they pretended like they were having a crusade. That's what they said, that it was like a propaganda. So they are trying to cover up their track. I tell you sincerely, for this thing to be continuing in Nigeria, there are people who have stake in this matter, who are interested, who are gaining out of it. There are people funding this thing that is happening in Nigeria. And guess what? It's right from the top. Is right from the top. If not, this would have been dealt with. Buhari said that he was shocked at the 81 people that their lives were taken away. He said he was shocked. You are shocked. What are you doing about it? Small Chad dealt with Boko Haram, and guess what? They are bleeding from their nose. How much more? Nigerian government, Nigerian military that should be able to do much more. Well, let's get to the news and get all the details. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has released the document it submitted to the United States Department that triggered panic in the presidency, which accused the IPOB of engaging in international propaganda, accusing the federal government of persecuting Christians. IPOB submitted entitled Nigeria, A History of Serial Genocides and the Urgent Need for U.S. Intervention, presented by IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on behalf of the group, drew the attention of the U.S. to an alleged violent Islamization that is taking place in Nigeria against Christians and Jews, especially of Biafra's origin, by the Buhari's government. The group has warned that the Islamization is capable of causing another genocide in Nigeria, as it did over 50 years ago ahead of the Biafra War. As should be destructuralized, this Islamization is both state and by non-state actors that enjoyed the patronage and tactic support of states. It is such that may lead to another genocide that will offend the conscience of the nation, including participating individuals, particularly the United States, which possesses the singular capacity to intervene with lasting solution, IPOB wants. The group also told the U.S. Department that Nigeria is an oil-rich country and a religiously led by people who have different mindsets, and a regional power in West Africa and a multi-ethnic, multi-diversity country, with a population about 180 million people, with three major ethnic groups, the Igbos, Yorubas, and Hausa/Fulanis, and 250 other smaller ethnic groups. The Hausa Fulani are predominantly Muslims and live in the northern part of Nigeria. The Yoruba, who lives in the southern west, are split almost every and in between Muslims and Christians. Yoruba Muslims prefers a moderate form of Islam and performed Islamic activity moderately, as opposed to the fundamentalist practices observed in the northern Nigeria, from which also Boko Haram and Fulani herdsmen Islamic terrorists has emerged. There is a small Sharia minority among the majority Muslims that are ruling Nigeria. The Biafra centerpiece of submission, inhabits the southern east part of Nigeria with a population of over 70 million. About 50 million of them are Igbos speaking, and Igbo language are predominantly Christians. But with a rapid growing Jewish minority, the land is blessed with human and mineral resources, including hydrocarbons. Biafrans are very commercial, inclined industrious, and are given to schooling and professional pursuits. They have an established democratic institution even before colonization of the British. They are very republican in nature and coexist peacefully among one another and among themselves. Noting the injustice the Igbos group Biafra has been going through allegedly in the hands of Hausa herdsmen, IPOB recalled that they went through during the 30-month civil war, when a total 3.1 million Igbo people were murdered between 29th May 1966 to 12 January 1970. IPOB added, had Biafra not on each unintellectually declined their independence in order to protect itself, the massacre would have been incountable. Most Biafrans, especially Igbos, were slaughtered in their homes, offices, businesses, schools, colleges, hospitals, markets, churches, shrines, farmlands, factories, industries, enterprise, children playing ground, town hall, refuge center, cars, lorries, a bus station, railway station, and airports. In the end, the genocide was enforced by Nigerian systematic pursuit land, era and naive blockage and bombardment of Biafra land, Africa's highest population dynasty reign outside the Niger Delta. In other words, even in their own heartland, where they had taken refuge, they were pursued and eventually subdued. This excuse then, as it were, was that Nigeria was pursuing a war of reformation. On the contrary, there is a quarantine evidence that the war was provoked in order to acclimatize genocides and has begun against Biafra gently. The Igbo particularly, the difference this time was to take it from their homeland where they flew and refuge and to destroy the Republic of Biafra. On the struggle for actualization of Biafra, IPOB said they were aware of the propaganda emerging from the Nigeria government and northern Nigeria Muslims fundamentalists alleged with the government that the non Biafra struggle for self-determination is an ethnic backlash against President Muhammadu Buhari just because he's an Hausa Fulani. We state emphatically that this is false and pretty wrong. The truth is that the previous war struggle and the pace at which things are going, if we don't contain what is happening, the Fulanis and Hausas are gradually killing and destroying Christians out of Nigeria. They want to Islamize Nigeria, and this we said to the US. And guess what? Nigerian government began to shake immediately. Yoruba Shehu, he issued a statement saying that IPOB was causing trouble in Nigeria. IPOB has gone to the US. If you've been following, you will get the news. IPOB has gone to the US to cause propaganda, bringing a division in Nigeria. Well, what IPOB has said was he wrong? With all that is going on, was he wrong? Look at what is happening. Was he wrong? Because you can see what is happening in Castina, where they went to destroy the lives of 81 people. Guess what President Muhammadu Buhari said? I'm shocked. That was all he had to say. I tell you, these things that are happening in Nigerian economy and government is because there are people who have stake in it. If there are no people who have stake in this matter, it will not continue and be as it is. It is because some people who have this in mind are continuing in this light and are doing what they feel like doing in the Nigerian economy. Don't forget that. it was alleged that three northern governors started this whole issue when they were governors, put down 100 million US dollar money meant for their state allocation to start this whole issues. What did they do? They put down this money and supported this evil that was going on. They supported it massively and started paying them. People that are jobless, when they see this opportunity, they quickly grab it. Started paying them and telling them to come over, that they should fight this fight. Is a fight for them to rule and all that, and began to give them money and began to lure them. So they started in the time of Governor President Olusegun Obasanjo, and the deal was that they said Olusegun Obasanjo did not appoint Muslims into key position. As a result, they want to they want to destroy Nigeria and make things worse. When Yaradua came, Yaradua was a bit sickly, and when he died and good luck became the thing has already increased, and everybody was saying, yes, let good luck Jonathan go so Buhari can come, he will be able to stop this evil that is going on, especially when they saw Yemi Osibanjo by his side, being a Christian, being a professor, a learned man, so they felt confident that the duel can work together and make things work. Guess what? The wrong and the this thing in Nigeria has taught me a great lesson. You don't judge a book by the cover. You don't. Too. It's an English adage, but it's very correct and so true. You don't see somebody surface there and just conclude and say, yes, yeah, this is the change we need. No, 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 no. There's more to it. There is more to it, because you can only see today. You can only see this minute you are saying. You don't know what will happen 2 hours from now. So we don't judge based on what we are seeing. We must always ask God for direction. That's the only way we can truly make an impact and make a change in Nigeria. Anyway, my people, what do you think? Don't forget to like us, share, subscribe. Click on the notification button so you can get all our latest news. I want to say a big thank you. God bless. Thanks for always supporting us. Have a good day and bye for now.